In this video, we're going to discuss Uranus retrograde through the signs Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio, specifically for the rising signs. If you have not watched part 1 of this video yet, Uranus retrograde for the collective, please make sure to do that first. Now, keep in mind that this interpretation is based off whole house astrology for the sake of being able to do a general reading. So you will want to know which house specifically or which houses Uranus will be going retrograde in your house. You'll want to confirm and double check that. So because we are using whole house astrology in this interpretation, I will be sharing what it means for it to switch not only from one sign to another, but from one house to another. Without further ado, let's start with Leo. Leo, this transit at some point or another will be sextiling your sun, and it will just be activating you as like a brand new, almost like a recharged light. As chaotic as this may feel at times, this is actually setting you up for like long-term stability. Not only is it changing your inner circle, it's changing your entire society, in which you operate in. It's bringing connections in for you with people who hold authority and weight. It's giving me a connection from like your past workplace, career, studies, government affairs, anything of that nature. Even I would say like a sorority or fraternity. It's introducing you to a whole new society and group of people to where you're gonna be just capitalizing in a whole new sector. It's also making you powerfully magnetic in a trine to Pluto. It's definitely giving power couple vibes, Leo. So during this retrograde and before Uranus goes, direct in your, officially in your 11th house, it's important that you go back to see, okay, where are your foundations and what parts of your foundations are you letting go of as you move into the future, and what parts of your foundation are you holding firm to, right, in order to help as a concrete building stone for that next level. You'll also want to pay attention to mentors, financial analysts, anybody who can kind of be a solid investor or bring wisdom and maturity or some kind of, mutual benefit to your future plans. Leo, I would say shake your tail thing, get out on that dance floor and shake things up. Be your expressive self coming from a heart-centered place of love, and you are just gonna rock this transit. Virgo rising, this transit is shifting from your 10th house back to your 9th house. Now, throughout this past Uranus in Taurus transit that we've had for the past several years, you have most definitely been transforming your entire outlook on life. I mean, we're talking about your belief systems, your values have completely changed in a much more enlightened way, and your experiences have expanded you as well as your associates, right? Quite possibly very much so through travel. Now we're going back to free ourselves, to liberate ourselves from the last bits of residue that have kind of kept us still in some level of a comfort zone in our old patterns and religious ways of thinking. This also impacts how we view money and finances. This is kind of all about working smarter, not harder, especially because Virgo, your health is top priority. There might be some type of financial investment that you've been researching, but you haven't made a move on. And this is probably a time where it's like, okay, as soon as, or after, I was going to say, as soon as it goes direct, Uranus goes direct, and after it's come out of the retrograde shadows, you might end up like, okay, it's time to do this. I would say higher education is also playing a theme here. And either you may be receiving some kind of a master's degree, or you may be considering going back for a master's if you didn't already. Either way, this is all for the sake and in the preparation for your 10th house activity, which is longevity, career, legacy. This could mean changing companies that you work for, or maybe even schools that you teach at. This could be changing careers altogether. In the sign of Gemini especially, this is really switching it up to the complete polar opposite of whatever it was that you thought that, or whatever it was that you've been doing, or what you thought that you were going to do. Changing neighborhoods, signing contracts, getting new friends, or switching your friends group. All of these kinds of things are going to really be transforming your life and the whole trajectory of your goals for the next several years. You may even start a new family business. Seeking out an investor will be key for you, Virgo, especially an elder or someone who's well established and rooted. So best wishes to you, Virgo. You're bound to come out empowered no matter what disruptions you may experience. Libra rising, why is this giving me divorce and alimony checks? Some financial obligation seems to be coming to a head, whether it's marital, or if it was to an institution, or a mortgage, or for education, anything of that sort, something that has been kind of keeping you locked down. We're at the final tail end of that with this retrograde. Uranus is retrograding back into the 8th house one last time, liberating us from any karmic bonds or financial debts or obligations. As it stations direct and then, goes back into the sign of Gemini, April of 2026, it will be transiting your 9th house. The relief of these financial obligations are going to liberate you for the chance to finally travel. Initially, it's really important that you find places just in your own neighborhood that are unique, that are were unknown to you, that you've just newly discovered, and you are able to see just how wonderful, how just going, a block down the street is almost, can be like traveling to a whole new country. I say this because adding flexibility to your routine, to your typical neurotypical patterns, is going to bless you. And along the way, you will meet new friends who love the same things that you love, and the type of people that you can have like solid future foundations with, building, growing, creating businesses with. The main thing that I would say to you, Libra, is that don't just connect with people based on how it looks on paper and a checklist, okay? You want to make sure, besides sounding like a good idea, you want to also make sure that these are people who are in spiritual alignment with you. A good way to know that, Libra, is to check their empathic temperature, and also to see if they're the type of people who are service-oriented. So remain open to changes, Libra, and allow them to metamorphosize at their own pace, okay? Not rushing anything, and willing to take the time necessary to really fully evaluate all circumstances. Scorpio rising. Uranus is retrograding back into your 8th house before it stations direct and continues in your 9th. This is giving me refinancing of a home or some kind of reconsolidation of a loan. This is giving me the changing of a partner, of a pursuit, of a passion, of a love. It's commanding a new direction into the lifestyle that you see for yourself. This is possibly seeking out self-employment and an investor or a business partner. It may even be a family member or an in-law. As Uranus was transiting Taurus, it was radically changing who you are. And that time period was radically preparing you for even more financial changes to come. And when I say financial, I mean even an entirely new economic system. This could refer to some type of digital monetization, or it could even refer to a whole different country, a foreign country, and their monetary system. I say this because as Uranus continues to go direct, it will be opposite your 2nd house, which is the house of Sagittarius. With Jupiter transiting your now 9th house, this could most definitely be investments in foreign lands. Particularly a home, because your 9th house is in Cancer. This could mean hosting a foreign exchange student or even adoption. Expanding your family and adding additional siblings to the nest is definitely potentially in the cards. So Scorpio rising, make the best out of this retrograde. Make sure that you are taking the time to actually make the adjustments that you need to make in order to set yourself up for the best, most solid foundation as Uranus moves forward. Which is ironic considering the fact that Uranus is the house that shakes up the foundation, but it's all for the sake of expansion.